There's a tribulus fruit extract ginger. Ooh, it's got ginger in it. I'm going to love it. Other ingredient is honey. The added sugar comes from pure honey. So 5.7 grams of sugar. That's not much. That's really low. But anyway, there's 30 servings in there. A lot of these are, that's the ox bile. That's to take for gallbladder, or lack of gallbladder, I should say. And I think 2 of these are the Prowl. So this is dog treats for Heimdall. And B12, the B complex for me. This one is going to be a good, and this should be the other. Actually, I think that might be the gravy. Well, good for them. You know what? All they're doing is promoting me by doing that. So I'm going to stop getting all upset about them. Oh, that's the MCT oil powder. A lot of freebies. The only thing that wasn't a freebie was the renewal at the beginning of the month for his treats, because I can't get the Prowl anywhere else, and he really likes those. That's getting something that he'll actually take right from my hand is a big deal for me. This one's got to be the gravy. Yeah, that feels like. No. Anyway. So, yeah, if they did a live about me today, well, good for them. I hope they get everything they want out of it, because someday, karma will catch up to them. These I'm going to do a promo for, but these are going to be a gift for my friends' kids. Something to keep them busy for the summer. Drop to Puff 3D Sponge Art Kit. And this one is Shrink to Sparkles Charm and Jewelry Craft Kit. The older girl likes to make jewelry, and the younger one will have fun with that one. So, it's kind of stuff I would have liked as a kid, if it had been available when I was a kid. Oh, and that's the last of it. Okay. I thought there was one more. There was not. Okay. Well, all right. There we go. So I got all the way to the main road and by my friend's house to get a phone call from her saying, "I'm up by your hotel." I said, "Didn't we almost do this on Tuesday?" And she goes, "Yeah." And I says, "Well, I'm by your house." And she goes, "Oh, that's too funny." So anyway, yet we had paper dolls when I was a kid too. Funny how that changes as the time goes on. But yeah. Well, if you don't like it, that's just your problem. My stories are my truth. They're my life. If you don't like it, there's the scroll on by door. Anyway, we went and had dinner together at Chick-fil-A, her treat, and caught up, which is always fun. I love visiting with her. We've been friends so long. It was funny. I said, "You do realize that we're near the fire station Nikki used to work at?" She goes, "Yeah, I realize that." So, anyhow, yeah, thank you. I wanted to check and see if that gal's live. Um, I want to help someone by doing a couple of battles with them because she lost her job just 2 months before her wedding. And I'm hoping to be able to um, help her by doing battles. She can get some extra money. She's also got a GoFundMe, but I don't have the listing for that. But who's in chat with Mama J? I've also been talking to Mama J. Um, oh, yeah. She was planning to give her fiance this fabulous wedding, and oh, thank you, that's so cute, and I love the corky butts. Um, and she lost her job, and she's been getting a whole lot of no's on her job interviews. So, wow, you guys, thank you. Oh, I should have known it was K Michelle and Mama J. Mama J, stop. I told you, I love you, sweet lady. Um, Mama J needs the money right now. We need to be supporting Mama J. Hey, Anna Grace. The big news. With a lot of discussion last night and quite a few people telling me go ahead and do it, even if I've got negative Nellies giving me a hard time. So not GoFundMe. I did not go with them. I went with a different company or website. But there is now, number one on my link tree, a fundraiser to get that van. So it's a little bit over the cost of the van because I need to be able to get over there to Jacksonville to get it, and probably have to do some work on it, like tires or something. I'm sure there's going to be something that I need to make it mine, and besides tax tag and title. So Sue made a really good suggestion because my car that I'm currently driving is more and more and more frequently trying to go into manual mode. So I'm driving down the road and all of a sudden it goes, and it slows down and the little light flashes. And yeah, it's because it has dual transmission or whatever, it's trying to go from automatic to manual, and the RPMs go up, but the car's not going anywhere fast, and it's really, really. The van is, well, it's not a big, huge van. It is a Toyota, I think Sienna. It's a smaller vehicle, but her husband completely outfitted it with a bed and a sink and a refrigerator and a little cook stove. So it has everything I'm going to need, except for a shower. And I've already figured out, since it has an air conditioner built in for that runs on a battery as opposed to the engine, I can leave that air conditioner running and leave Heimdall locked in the van with air conditioning and go into Planet Fitness, spend, a half hour taking a shower, and because they won't allow him in. So I'm thinking it has solar power, but I'm thinking one of the things I may end up having to buy is an extra battery backup, just so I can have, oh, thank you, just so I can have it with 2 batteries, so we're never running out. I would love to show you all pics, but I have come to the one conclusion is I do not want to post any pictures of it, because I don't want the people who are bashing me to have any ammunition for what I'm getting. I don't want them to see it. Once I get it, I may show you all the inside. I'm never going to show the outside, because I do not want, I don't want them to be able to identify where I am. So her husband did a video test drive of it, showing me how beautiful the engine is, how it purrs like a kitten. And then he drove it down the road with the camera both on him driving and on the gauges to show how well it was running. So none of the idiot lights were lighting up. I have to go to Jacksonville. It's on the other coast. So it's a 5-6 hour drive, depending on if I'm driving over there in the car I'm currently driving. It's going to be more like 7 or 8 hours, because the car is really, it's bad. And Sue made a really wise suggestion that once I get over there, because this car is just on its last legs, take it to a junkyard and just say, here, what will you give me for it? No. See, that's the thing, Robin. Once I have the van, I won't need hotels. It's got a bed in it. It has everything I'm going to need. So I could actually travel. I can stay in the area or not stay in the area. I can do what I want. Yes, a senior apartment will be best long term, but that is not available right now. The soonest I can get one of those is 6 months down the road. The more likely is 3 years. So I am trying to get something that's going to allow me to have a safe space, that I'm not on the street, that I am not sitting up. I will actually have a bed. And actually, the seats in this van are captain chairs, which I know from the past are so much more comfortable to sit in when you're driving, too. It's going to make it so much better for me driving. True, I still won't be able to do lift because there's no back seats. It's been converted into a living space. But it's a 2005. It only has 140,000 miles on it. The guy who owned it before them basically drove it to grocery, church, around town, did not do a lot with it, and kept it, impeccable shape, took it for all the oil changes and everything that was needed. So the car is in great condition. And her husband, who is very evidently handyman extraordinaire because he's made solar panels for it and everything. This vehicle is going to be absolutely perfect. He did it for his, I think, mother, who got to use it one time and promptly got cancer and passed away in a very, just, it was diagnosis to passing away was like 6 weeks. And so they've just had it sitting in the garage, and he drives it like a couple of times a month just to make sure that it's in good condition. But they are giving it to me at a song, an absolute song. And I had a Toyota years ago. I had an old Toyota Corolla liftback, and I drove that thing for 6 years. I put 300,000 miles on it, and it barely gave me a problem. I loved that car. The only thing I ever had to worry about was tires. And I drove to my brother's, I don't know how many times in that little car. And it was wonderful. I'm not going to ask them to. I'd like to go over to Jacksonville. I haven't been to Jacksonville in 35, 40 years. It's been a long time. So, and I might, mind you, since I'm going to have a place I can sleep, I don't have to stay in a hotel, I might drive up to Savannah and stay up there a couple of days, just because I love Savannah. And I haven't been back since my drive to Florida. And I didn't really take time to see much because when I was driving back to Florida, I was in so much pain. I stayed an extra day in Savannah because the car was having a flat tire issue. And I took it someplace to get the tire checked, and they plugged a nail hole and said, you should be fine. Well, I was fine till I wasn't, but I was already here at that point. But that was the little smart car that I was driving for 4 years. And your soul sister, oh, I'm sorry, but that's kind of cool that you found someone in Jacksonville and you can teledoc with them. It's not on the GFM. So, yes, but not on GFM. That's what we're talking about. Is I've set up it's Give Fund Go, something like that, is the name of the thing. It's a husband and wife, and yes. Yes, Susan, but you probably had a decent car to make that drive in. Give, Send, Go. Thank you. I never say it right. I'm not ignoring you, Mary Ann. It's going great miles here. I have heard that. It's been a long time since I've been there, so. Yeah, see, a RAV4, you were da-da-da, we are just traveling down the road. Wow, this is going fast. And in my car, it's, oh, fuck, let me get there on time. Or let me get there in one piece. So, they don't take money out of what you're fundraising for. They allow you to choose if you want to give a portion. So, and instead of just 20% right off the top, they give you an option of 1%, 2%, 5%, or your own. And I clicked on 2%. So they're getting something for running the site, but it's not taking so much away from what I'm hoping to get. And I'm not asking for a huge amount, $3,500. The cost of the van is $2,500. It's going to be about $300 for tax, tags, and title, hopefully. And then I'm hoping, because it's a Toyota and it's even older, that my insurance will go down a little bit. That would be really wonderful. But I'm asking for a little extra for the cost of getting over there to get it, as well as if I need to get tires or anything for it, because I'm going to check all of that. And if it needs like an oil change or anything, I'm going to make sure that I do that right off the bat. And like I said, I would like to be able to travel a little bit with it. So it is. It's the very top thing on my tree. So it is set up. I did it this afternoon. I am sorry I did not put pictures of the van on there on purpose, because I do not want the naysayers, the negative Nellies in the world who are bound and determined to tear me apart. I don't want to give them ammunition with what the van looks like. Matilda can go fly a kite. I am not worried about it because it's old enough that it's going to be easier to work on. That's one very important thing. And Toyotas are just little workhorses. They do not break down as easy as other vehicles. And if you keep up with oil changes and tires, you can keep it. You can keep it running for a good long time. Sorry, my brain just stalled mid-sentence. My first car that I got, or I got to choose, was my Toyota Corolla liftback. I got it when I was graduating from the VOTEC, when I got my data processing degree. A room. I am in a room and I'm in air conditioning. That's all anybody needs to know. So why did we mute Beach Bums? I didn't see him saying anything offensive. Hey, Leanne. How are you doing tonight? I keep getting all these little pop-down notices. Hey, Deborah. Very hot in Florida today. Yes, it is. Holy Moses. Yesterday was worse. Today, at least, we had rain, and the rain cooled things down, so it wasn't as bad. But then the rain went away, and the steam came off the pavement, and bleh, muggy, muggy, muggy. So I will let you know, Pam. Send me a DM so that we can connect and stay in touch for that purpose. The 4th, I am staying in the room and taking it easy. AI summary almost has it on the nose. Discussing a $3,500 fundraising goal for a vintage Toyota. Actually, vintage is Is it 20 years or 25 years? If it's 20 years, because it's 21 years old. If it's 25 years, I've got 4 years to go. One of the two. Yes, I've already heard about it. Do I care? No. Do I think that Sue and I had a little talk about this tonight, and she said even if they bash you for having a fundraiser to get this van, they're only advertising what your need is, and people are going to come to your page and hear what you have to say. And she's right. So I'm going to listen to Sue, because Sue's the smart person in this realm. Gretchen, because they are ridiculous. They're just sad little people who just can't stand it if somebody actually puts a hand out and says, I need help. I have no idea what that bizarre, but all that's doing is making it scroll so fast I can't keep up with people. Oh, I'm sure they did. And you know what? It's just, would you block that person just completely and let's be done with it? I don't know who's doing it, but the minute they come in, just keep blocking them. They'll get tired of it after a bit. Evidently, I think they got tired of it in a bit. It stopped. Y'all worked. You succeeded. And by the way, I want you to know, I think I've got 3. These freaking olives are so good. Um, if you go in my tree, the hinky dinky do, it's the very first listing in there right now. The very first link. This is olives from Better Goods from Walmart, and they're hand stuffed with lemon peel and orange peel. They're plump Greek green olives stuffed with lemon peel and orange peel, and they're delicious. They have that buttery, lovely texture of green olives. And of course, a little bit briny because they're in a brine. And then you bite into it and you get that either lemon or lime peel in the middle. I mean, lemon or orange peel in the middle. So you get that bright orange, whatever flavor. And it's so good. So anyhow, I did. You know, I slept from like 2 a.m. when I got off the live till like 11 this morning. I was over hot yesterday, so that didn't help. But I got decent sleep. See, there's a lemon peel sticking out, and they're nice and plump. Super duper yummy. Mm. It's Walmart's Better Goods brand. Chef's kiss. They're super delicious. I actually would love to slice them and put them in rice and make like a Greek rice dish. That would be so good. Oh, no caller ID. Calciprese. Probably. No, actually, 8% of the daily value of sodium, 190 milligrams, which is what, about the same as a soda? So, no, not too bad. And considering I don't have an issue with sodium really. So, I am good. I got down to storage. I did the things I needed to do there. I stopped at Wawa. I got gas in the car, not much, but what little cash I had left, I put into the car. And I was eating the last of the olives, the lemon and orange peel stuffed olives. It dropped 10 cents. Woohoo! Instead of $3.89, it was $3.79 at Wawa. But I didn't have a choice. Wawa was closest to where I was, so I couldn't go to Murphy's and get my decent price break. I got Heimdall his food at Walmart, and I went to, I got stuff for myself for the next 4 days here. And I only got enough eggs for 2 meals, breakfasts worth. So, it's hot out. I come inside and I feel like I've just been completely drained. $2.94. Oh, geez, I would love to have it below $3 again. Oh, ouch. Dress. Thank you. We're in full force tonight. I paid $3.79, so really close to you in Philly this time. My late lunch was Chick-fil-A with my friend Sue. She offered to take me to dinner, so because she's staying in a hotel near me while their house is being sprayed again. But she at least has figured out why they keep getting reinfested, so maybe it will not happen again. I mean, literally, she's been doing piles of laundry to try and get rid of this problem since over a month ago. And oh, she had like 18 giant garbage bags full of laundry that she had to do. And they weren't pulling some bedding that was behind the headboard. And so they kept getting reinfested, the bed first. Well, it was because of the stuff behind the headboard that was never getting pulled to be cleaned. So mites and fleas from kittens that they brought in. So, not bed bugs, mites and fleas. It was from the kittens. And so they had a real problem getting rid of them. Well, let's see, Pat Hendrick. I probably paid my storage, my car insurance, my $300 loan, there was something else I paid. Oh, I paid back the woman who helped me out with a hotel last week. So I sent her the money that she paid me, and I'm back down to zero because, and I paid for this hotel room for 5 days. So yeah, that's how it works. It doesn't last long. No, but it was cheaper than anywhere else, and I was able to use points. So, no, it does not, Carolyn. It does not. And I started in with a $120 deficit, so it was just at 1,000 when it came in that I had to work with. And it's 130 for the storage. It's 130 for the car insurance. It was 300 for something else. And then I owed the gal who helped me out $430. So I paid her the $430. And then the room here, $399 for 5 days. So there you go. Kathy. Oh, Kathy, you are so right. It is a good thing I have friends on here. I have wonderful, wonderful people. It's a holiday weekend. What do you think? It's going to be more expensive. 4th of July, everybody wants to be in a hotel, someplace warm and beautiful and whatever. I have no idea what Trivago is, and no, I haven't looked at it. That's why I'm glad I'm not near a neighborhood tonight. No, $3.99 for 5 days is not bad at all. Why do I feel like I should know where Fort Mill is? Oh, okay. Well, I didn't even use Priceline this time. I used an app for the hotel chain because I have points with them. It's basically a thick milkshake or thick milk, but at this point, I don't think it's even milkshake quality at this point. But it's at the back of the fridge, so hopefully it's staying extra cold. South of Charlotte, North Carolina? My there was a fellow that I really thought was my birth dad. He isn't, but he lives. Actually, I think he might live in the Fort Mill area. He used to work for a trucking service, or mobile home sales service. I don't think he does anymore because he's like, well, I'm 66. He's probably at least 82. No, I think he's 86. He was 20 when I was born. So he's originally from Fletcher, North Carolina. I appreciate that. I have others besides Priceline, but if you go through the app for the company, like if you go through Marriott or if you go through Hyatt or one of the big chain apps, you earn points and you can save more money, and so that's what I'm doing. So, and they don't hit you with the higher extra fees when you get to the hotel, and that helps. Yeah, I mean, I was earning points through Priceline, but it takes longer for the points to hit your account when you do it through Priceline. So, Motel 6. We don't have a Motel 6 in the area. The closest one is, I think, in Tampa, or maybe up around Pasco County area. The problem, it's not hidden fees with them, it's hidden fees when you get to the hotel that, oh, you have to pay a $150 deposit. Bargain your petting? Excuse me? Yeah. And $25 a day pet fee. That I've been hit with that a couple of times now. So, oh, I am so sorry. They do have breakfast at the one across the way, but not here. I don't care if they think they know where I am. I'm so sick and tired of trying to hide where I am. Um, I figured as much. I mean, the fact that I'm not blocking the picture in the room, if they can get on a website and Google search it, they'll figure out where I am. And at this point, I'm just too tired to fucking care. They've already tried to call me. I'm sure they've sent text messages too. I'm just ignoring all that pop down bullshit tonight. And I've told the people at the front desk if it starts, just to don't take their calls. So, oh, no. I mean, this isn't an extended stay. I don't have a kitchen. It this is like the kitchen area and bathroom of that last place is the size of this whole room. It's a king bed, and there's very little space around it. I have one chair, and this is an office chair that originally had armrests on it, and somebody broke them off. So it's a little rough around the edges, and I don't care. It's comfortable, it's cool, and it was affordable. I can't ask for more than that, right? And they didn't charge a pet fee. So, I'm good to go. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Heimdall's happy. He's sound asleep on the bed behind me. I don't know if you can. Right there. We stopped at Wawa's, and I got a cup of ice and water for him, and so he's happy. Yeah, like I said, it's a big painting behind me. It is. It actually could be a photo that was, blown up and turned into a painting kind of thing, where they print them onto a canvas. Yeah, he is. He's had a busy day. He's got all kinds of treats. More came in the mail today. So where did I put him over here. He's got chicken heart and salmon cubes. So the beef cubes didn't come in this round. They are the ones that came after Sue left. So chicken hearts are his favorite, though. These things are freeze-dried chicken hearts, one ingredient food. And he thinks they are manna from heaven. Yeah, I'm so tired, I don't even care about that. Yeah. Was it a busy day? Oh, you got out of the car and you ran around Tessa and had so much fun. The gal who runs my storage unit is a dog lover, and she met us in Winn-Dixie one night, like 2 weeks after her dog passed away. And he just climbed into her arms. Every time we passed in the aisles, he got from me into her arms. And she was practically in tears, just holding on to him. And he was giving her all the love. And so that's why I chose where I'm keeping my stuff. Not nuts. They're freeze dried chicken hearts from Prowl, and you can see them in the side of the bag there. It's pretty full. Oh, we're having a little of both. Oh, Scott, I feel for you. When I lost Heimdall or Uno, I was an absolute wreck. And 2 weeks later, my friend called me and said, I have a female toy poodle who's going to have puppies in January. Would you like one? And I thought, oh, that's lovely, but I can't afford a toy poodle. And she said, I didn't ask if you could afford one. I asked if you would like one. And I'm like, yes. Thank you, by the way. Um, so uh, I looked on a map for where she was located because she said I would have to drive up there. And I was like, that's going to be a long drive, at least 21 hours. I probably should get someone to go with me. So I called my friend Kim and I said, hey, would you like to go with me on an adventure to get a puppy? And she goes, what kind of puppy? And I said, toy poodle. And she goes, that sounds like fun. And her mother and the foster mom in the background said, I want one. And we said, we'll put you in touch with the gal who has the mama dog and you can talk to her about it. So she ended up paying for his brother. So Kim and I drove up there and came back with two little bits of fluff. They were 1.5 pounds each. He wasn't the firstborn, but he was born before midnight, Heimdall. And Bear, his brother, was born after midnight, and he was the last puppy born. So I have the firstborn male, and she has the other. There were only 2 boys in the litter of 6. So, oh, he ate the chicken heart. He got up, he stretched, he moved over a little further, and he went flop down on the bed. It's too funny. So, he is 3.5 today. He was born January 3rd of 2023. Yeah, these are some of the best ones I've gotten. They're from TikTok Shop. I went ahead and set it up because I did it first of the month when my check is in. So I've set it up that these will come once a month because that's about how long it takes them to go through a whole bag. Because I get more than one and I mix and match. So, I think they were like when you do it on a not a prescription, but a auto renew. You get like $2 off. So I think it was like $7.99 a bag, which is not bad. It's what I pay actually at Walmart for a smaller bag than this. Subscription, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. When you're going freeze-dried, single ingredient, you're going to pay more. But to have him healthy and with me for a good long time, I'm willing. Right? Come here. Come here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's such a good boy. We were in Walmart and he was just loving on everybody there. He was such a cutie today. AI summary, sharing stories about his pet, Heimdall. Let's see, what was the other part of it? And his favorite freeze-dried treats. Yeah, I do, which is why his shave job is a little more Yorkie or Schnauzer-ish than a poodle, but uh, yeah, Walmart has no problem with dogs, same as Target. So, ooh, I bet that's good. He's a good boy. When he was born, he was dark chocolate brown, and this is the color he faded into. But it's really funny. Anytime he gets a little place where he's chewed himself or something, the hair goes back chocolate brown. So he had a little pimple on the top of his head. He's got right up. Can you see it right there? He's got a little chocolate brown coming up where that pimple was, and then he's got two on his butt when he had fleas and he chewed himself. He's got two little chocolate brown patches. I do know about BarkBox, but I can't afford BarkBox. I can I can get him the toys for free from Walmart using my Healthy Rewards card. So I do. You know what? Somebody is setting off fireworks. I hear them. I have been told multiple times when I go into Target and Walmart, we have no problem with you coming in with your dog because he's small and he's well behaved. And the only time he has ever not been super well behaved was when somebody scared him. And that was the kids who rode in on bicycles. I have asked multiple times. Dog under a tree, you are about to get yourself, 20 following. You are probably one of the members of the We Hate Rosie Club. So, bye bye. Yeah, our Walmart never has a problem with it. I was in there for about an hour today. The only place that doesn't is Publix. They have a problem with it. When Dixie, as long as I'm riding in the cart and he's in my arms, they have no problem because he's not in the basket. He's not touching the groceries. But well, yeah, but they're not food stores. They have no problem because they aren't food related first and foremost. The reason now I don't go to the stores that are strictly grocery in the Walmart family, the neighborhood markets. I go to the big box stores, the superstores, because it's more home goods and clothing and like auto parts and paint and you know everything but grocery on most of the store. So they're not as strict about having a dog with you. So he is now flea free, has been for over a month. And no, that's not true. Dog is a dog, but you have hair dogs and you have fur dogs. He has hair, he doesn't shed. It's a big difference. That's why you have to groom them, because it grows like our hair. Oh no! Oh. I will never forget. I was like 19 years old. No, I was 20. I was 20 years old, and it was New Year's Eve, and Dale was setting off bottle rockets, and he said, "Here, you try." And I put the rocket, thing in the bottle, and I went to set it off, and just as it went to go off, the bottle fell over. We were at an apartment complex. It went shooting across the street and blew up under somebody's window, and we went and hid inside. Oh my God. That was the night that we found out that our neighbor in the corner of our apartment building, they had gotten a puppy, and the puppy's name was Tikva. And I remember that because this puppy made such an impression on me. She was like 12 weeks old. She was a little bit of fluff, part Cocker Spaniel, and I don't remember what else was in the mix. She was adorable, but they let her get drunk. And I just like, how irresponsible can you be? But this little dog was so cute, and she was trying to jump on the couch, and she just kept going thunk, flop. And I don't remember what happened with that puppy after that. They moved out pretty soon, but they were making Jello shots, and the puppy got into the Jello shots. Oh no, the one and only. I am so sorry. That's awful, and only funny in time space after, you know, but not funny. Yeah, it's that funny in retros. That's the word I was looking in retrospect, but terrible at the same time because that could have been so bad. My cousin got drunk at like 16 at a party, and it was, I forget why, they had a big fire pit going, and she thought it wasn't burning hot enough, so she took lighter fluid and squeezed it, and the lighter fluid streamed to the fire, and then the fire came screaming back up and singed her eyebrows and her hair, front of her hair off. So I can picture what you went through, and it's not funny, but in retrospect, there is very minor humor to it. Okay, let me check and see if that person's. She said she was going to go live at 9 o'clock. Now I can't remember what her screen name is. I guess she isn't. Anyway. I wanted to go live with her so that we can do a battle and help her raise money. Poor thing, 2 months before her wedding, she loses her job. She's having trouble finding another job because this economy sucks. And no, it wasn't Mama something. It was no, Mama J is another person. This was somebody else. She's getting married, and she lost her job, and it's a lesbian wedding, so she wants to give her partner the wedding that she has been planning, but now she doesn't have the money to continue the plans, so she's trying to raise the money here so that she won't let her partner down. I think, the fact that she is so dedicated to her partner and wanting to make her happy, I'm more than willing to do what I can to help. And even if I don't have the money to help, I will promote and I share her her story and do whatever I can to help her make money so that she can have that wedding. She has a GoFundMe, and so does Mama J. So I'm promoting both of these people. Mama J has cancer. That's why she is trying to raise money, because she's lost her insurance and cannot afford the huge cost of the meds. And that is, that's wonderful. I'm glad you did that. And I agree, weddings have gotten ridiculously expensive. The one and only, you know what? If you can't laugh, it's you the best way to keep moving in life is to laugh it off. And yes, I have forgotten that so bad in recent months because of all that's been going on and being homeless and never knowing where I'm going to be week to week, and the heat just getting to me, and the groups that have been slam bashing me. And I had a conversation with Sue today, and I had a conversation with somebody else the other day. And the two conversations said basically the same thing. What they're doing is only helping you because they're promoting you by slamming you. And they're right, because my lives are getting way more. I used to get 60 to 70 people in the room at a time, and now I'm pushing 300, 400 on some lives. So how long have I been homeless? Aria, that really did not come out well, but anyway, no, I've had a GoFundMe before trying to get my home fixed. Now I don't have the home. So I canceled that GoFundMe. I got rid of it. Now I have a chance to get a van. So I have a place to live, and I'm not having to pay for hotel rooms, because it has a bed already built in, and it has a sink, and it has a refrigerator. It has everything built in that I need, except for a shower. And I can go multiple places to take showers. So that's not the hardship. And it has solar panels. The guy built it, converted it for his mom or grandmother, I can't remember which it was, and she got to use it once and then got diagnosed with cancer and was gone in 6 weeks. So they've got it sitting at their house. They don't need it for travel because they have a fifth wheel. They have a large camper. So when they heard that I was homeless and I was looking to get a van to convert, they said, hey, we've got one already converted. It's not as big as what you're looking at, but it's here. and it will give it to you for a reasonable price, which it is. So I did not do a GoFundMe because I do not like how much money they take. I think it's criminal that when somebody's in need, you are greedy enough to take a huge portion of what they're trying to get to survive. And the site that I chose lets you pick how much that you support them for doing the service for you. And so I did. They allow you to go as cheap as 1% or none if you don't want to. But I picked 2% because that's a decent amount for them. And I set it for $3,500. The van's $2,500, but then you got tax, tags, and title. You've got the possibility of needing like an oil change or new tires or something else. And so I want to be padded a little bit to make sure that I can do all of those things. But it will take the weight of 20%. GoFundMe takes 20%. So you need to take that into account when you set up a GoFundMe. If you need, I'm going to give you just a straight figure. If you need 100,000, do it for 120. So that they, or 124, I think is what it works out to. So that they take their 20% and you still get what you need for your life emergency. Do you see what I'm saying? And this one takes what you're willing to give. And I love that. And I might be able to actually get this van in a relatively decent amount of time and have a place to call my own, even if it's not a permanent home. It's a bed, and it has a refrigerator, so I can keep my Manjaro with me. And if I want to travel, I could actually travel. I could leave the area and not worry about it. If Michael wants a ride to Riverview, I can drive him to Riverview. If he wants to go to Land O'Lakes, I can drive him to Land O'Lakes because it has seats. But at the same time, if I'm too tired to drive back, I could pull over at a rest stop and take a nap and not worry about it. So it's a win-win for me. Thank you. I appreciate that. So anyway, it's in my bio. It's the very first thing on the tree. No, Michael's not my boyfriend. Michael is my friend who buys and sells cars. And I won't be doing him favors until he pays me back. No. We have already discussed this, which is why when he called me the other day, wanting me to come to almost Orlando to rescue, and they said, "Oh, we'll pay you for this one. How much?" And I told him, and he said, "Well, how about if we met you halfway? How much would you charge that?" I'm like, Michael, honestly, the car that you have me in right now is not safe for me to drive that far. He goes, "Oh, yeah, with the tire problem you had the other day, you're probably right." So they found another way to get the medicine to his dad, but Nudie, I'm sorry. I wish you had a different name because I don't even want to say, anyway, that's neither here nor there. When you're buying and selling cars, when you have a car that you want to go buy, you don't drive a car there yourself, because then what do you do with two cars to get back to your home? I am the person who gets them there. So, no, Chick-fil-A. My friend Sue took me to dinner tonight. So, and I went as cheap as I could. I got the chicken nuggets, the grilled chicken nuggets, and the Sunjoy unsweet tea with regular lemonade because I don't want the NutraSweet, the artificial sweetener. So, okay, then I'm going to say noodle because that's safer. The screen name reminds me. I had a friend years ago. We would play NTN trivia in restaurants, bars, whatever. Um, that's where you would go in. They'd have the trivia on the big screens, and you'd get a little box, and you would put your screen name in to log in, and you would pick 1 through 5, which were the lettered questions or numbered questions or answers to a question, and the person who gets the most answers right wins. And this one friend that we played with, his name was John, and John's screen name for playing was PU, the letter C, Y, PI. Now, my friend Tess, who was the most naive person in the world, I thought I was naive. Tess made me look like the cat down on the fish docks for lack of naivety. She thought his screen name spelled out Pookie Pie. It was not Pookie Pie. I will let you just sound that one out and figure it out for yourselves. But he rolled his eyes and he'd go, I love Pookie Pie. He's the one I used to go to antique car shows with. You don't get it. P-U-C-Y, pronounce the C like an S. P-U-C-Y-P-I. It was rude. And that little eye roll, I love Pookie Pie, should give you an idea. I had a friend, Lori. Oh my God, I loved Lori. We went to see the Batman movie that had the Penguin, with Burgess Meredith playing the Penguin. I think it was Burgess. No, not Burgess Meredith. That was the original Penguin. Danny DeVito playing the Penguin. And he says it as a line in the movie, I love pussy pie. And I lost it. Dan lost it. And Lori sat there going, I don't get it. So we had to explain it to her. And then she went, oh, you guys are awful. So anyhow. Yes, anyhow, that was the joke. And I believe that was why he used that for a screen name. But he had a really good sense of humor. And I went to antique car shows with a car. And I stayed friends with him for quite a few years, and then he just kind of disappeared from the area. I don't know what happened to him. We used to try and figure out what he did for a living because he didn't seem to ever be working. He was always at the bars long before we got there for playing trivia. And he had a to-go bag in his trunk, a bag of clothes for travel at the drop of a hat. So we used to make assumptions that he was really some international spy or a hitman, and we had all these wild theories about him. But anyway, he just one day he wasn't there at trivia, and I didn't see him again. I don't know what happened to him, but we had a lot of fun while we hung out for that year and a half. But anyhow, he was the one I went and that we'd won the tickets for a gambling cruise playing trivia. We won the tickets. And that was the night that the cruise the water was choppy, to say the least. and everybody practically on the ship was leaning over the rails. Ugh. Including myself, and he was the only person who didn't get sick. Maybe he is a spy. But anyway, he definitely wasn't a James Bond. He wasn't that devastatingly handsome, or at least not in his everyday life guise. He was a little bit nerdy and actually kind of a lot of fun. But and he didn't drink. He never was drinking. I think he had a beer on rare occasion. Mostly he was like me with tea or Sprite or whatever. But I saw my first hockey game with him. We won tickets to that. We won tickets to dinner at the Hard Rock when it first opened, before it became before it became the casino. It was just the Hard Rock Cafe, and we went to the Hard Rock Cafe on free tickets. And then we went to the Cruising with the Classic car shows all the time, because he entered his car in the Cruising with the Classics. Just friendship, just friends, not a relationship at all. Probably one of the few people that I would have if he had asked, but I was also in that I'm not interested phase back then. So that was the first time I was in I'm trying to build my own self-esteem at that point. And so it was before the fall in the sinkhole too. We did. We had a lot of fun together. He was just a trip. We went to forget what else we did. The other hockey game I went to, though, was with my friend Patrick. I would see Patrick twice a year when he came down to visit his parents. And he was another person I met playing trivia. I remember we were sitting next to him, and he stretched his legs out, and he was sitting at the back side of the table, 2 seats, right? And he had his legs stretched out, and his feet were like sticking a foot out from the table, and he wore size 17 and a half shoes. Huge feet. And Tampa Bay Lightning games. But the other one we went to was the Orlando, and I can't remember what the name of the team is in Orlando. And I went to that with Patrick. And Patrick was 6'8". He was tall. And Tess was about 4'10". And Tess was like, please don't stand up near me. She just absolutely could not stand the fact that he was so tall. She would stand next to him, and sitting down, he was still taller than her. So, Ken, that was the thing. I had never been to a hockey game. I did not see the whole purpose of hockey until I won that trivia game and got to go to a Tampa Bay Lightning game. And somebody high-sticked somebody in the face, broke his nose, blood all over the ice, and I went, I love hockey! Just out of the blue. I get it now. I'm not bloodthirsty. Really, I'm not. But I got it. I got the whole reason for a hockey game right then and there. And that was my introduction to hockey. Anyhow, I miss playing NTN trivia. That was a lot of fun. We had this one guy who was a professor from USF who would play, and Dale and his daughter, who was 4 years old at the time, would come and play. And Dale and I would sit and talk and whatever. And Tara, it was always on kids' night. So Tara would be playing with the clown who was doing the balloons and stuff. and she would trot over there and play for a little bit, and then she'd come back over to us and show whatever balloon animal that she taught the clown how to make. This little girl was smarter than smart. And she was like, she'd run over, she'd push a button, she'd run back, just randomly pushing buttons. This 4-year-old was winning at trivia. And the guy who was the professor got so mad when she beat him at trivia that night. And he's like, she's just a child. She doesn't even know what she's doing. She beat him 4 games in a row. But she wanted the game where it was a prize. It was like a $50 prize that night. And she won, and he was pissed. I will never forget that. He was like, I'm never coming on kids' night ever again. Anyhow, I bet that's cool, Karen. My childhood friend, Cheryl, her family was actually related to one of the singers in the band Boston. And so when they played at Bayfront, this was like 1976, I think. I was in high school. She was still in St. John's, so 75. Yeah, one of her cousins was like the drummer or something with the band. So the band came to the house to visit with, the uncle. And she invited a few friends over for dinner so that we could meet Boston. And I forget why I couldn't go. I was sick that night or something. I didn't get to meet the band. But Cheryl had the claim of fame of being related to them. But I miss Cheryl. She's in North Carolina. She was the one that Connie and I were talking about a couple of nights ago. Cheryl dated Connie's brother at one point. But she had 2 kids and she lost her daughter. She also battled with breast cancer. So, haven't seen her in years. She moved to North Carolina, got married to a fellow there, and is in her own little world. She volunteers and works for the church, she's Catholic. And so I think she works in the diocese. But I miss Cheryl. We were best friends from like 5th grade on. We were a year apart, but I would go and spend the weekend at her house. She'd come and spend the weekend at mine. We did a lot together. Her dad had, the house was large. It was on Vina Del Mar, which is out off of Pasagrille Beach area. And he had the Florida room had a bar, and over the wall behind the bar it said Mafia Staff Bar, keep you hands off. Every room in that house, no matter where you sat, there was a telephone within reach. Literally the entire house was wired with telephones. I went to go use the bathroom, and I called my mom from the bathroom, and I said, you'll never guess where I'm calling you from. I am in the tub. There is a telephone in the bathroom right next to the tub. And I couldn't get over that. And Cheryl always had Italian greyhounds. That was her dog. I learned how to eat pomegranates from her. They had a pomegranate tree in the backyard along with some citrus and stuff. But she was friends with Connie's family and a lot of the other Italian families because they were all members of the Italian American Club. So the good old days. St. John's is no longer there. The hurricane destroyed our school. Helene flooded it and Milton took the roof off. So the St. John's parochial school is no longer. They just tore it down a couple of weeks ago. They're rebuilding the church, though, but not the school. I don't know what they're going to do with the property where the school was. Will they put a new school in eventually, or what? I loved going to school there. Except we had no air conditioning. Oh my God, it was miserable in the summertime. In the winter, we did have heat. Not great heat, but we had heat. We did not have air conditioning in the summer, though. Those rooms were hot. Thank you. I'm talking about the good old days, and somehow that's dry begging. I have no clue. In so many ways, Karen, I agree. The good old days, my parents were still with us. My dad and I would go fishing and sailing, and I do miss that. I miss hanging out with Cheryl. Debbie, oh my God. I had a friend in grade school. She was there for freshman year of high school, and then she disappeared. Her mom remarried and took her and her brother back to like Colorado, and I've never heard from her since. I don't know what her name change was or anything. But I remember going to her house and fishing from their dock and, spending the weekend with her. She lived right on St. Pete Beach, but on the intercoastal side. So their house was on the water. And then after she moved away, I made friends with another girl who bought that house. Her family bought that house, and she invited me over for a weekend. And I was like, she gave my parents the address, and we show up, and I'm like, this used to be my friend Debbie's house. And at that point, Debbie's grandparents, who she was living with, had bought a condo just off of St. Pete Beach. And so this girl was living, we were in 8th grade, this girl was living in the house that Debbie had lived in, and Debbie was now living in the condos like 2 miles away. I graduated high school in 78. I graduated from St. John's in 74. So, and St. Pete Catholic High in 78. If there's a hurricane, I'll either leave town, which is a viable option. Hey, a hurricane's coming in. Let's head for Georgia and go visit my brother because I'll have a place to sleep. I could actually go visit Joe because I'd have a place to sleep. I wouldn't be intruding upon them. I did not go to college. I did get a degree in data processing at a VOTEC. I'll tell you what, some of the experiences were from my family and some were from the people that I grew up with. Actually, a lot came from, I learned more cooking from friends' parents because, like, Cheryl's mom was from Italy. The guy I dated in high school, his mother was from Italy, and she was only like 18 years older than I was. She had the same cute, tiny figure that I had. We went shopping together and got matching bikinis. She was adorable. I loved his mom. And another fella that I dated in high school, his mother was from Hungary, so I learned Hungarian food from her. Every time I every time I dated somebody, I ended up spending more time with their moms in some ways and learning cooking and stuff from them. My friend Arnold, his mom was from Trier, Germany, and I learned some dishes from her. But she taught me how to knot pearls and how to identify gemstones. And so that was a big portion of what formed who I became growing up. Each person I I learned something from. I took knowledge uh, that I gained while having a relationship with somebody in that family, and um, I stayed friends with several people over the years. I mean, Carl, his mom was from Hungary, and I went and visited her long after we didn't date. She would always say, "I wish you and Carl had stayed together," and I'm like, it wasn't meant to be, but I will never give up my friendship with you. And we stayed friends for 10 years until she went into a nursing home. She got cancer. Um, I've lost a lot of people to cancer. Arnold's mom, we lost to cancer too. She went back to Germany to visit her sister and didn't tell anybody she had cancer. She went over there to pass away in her hometown. And that's how we found out. So, oh, thank you. I love the hand heart. That is such a cute hand heart. How are you doing tonight, Kay Michelle? Oh, excuse me. Oh, it was hot today. The good news is, well, I don't know if it's good news, but it's news. I took the advice of some very good people last night, and also my friend today, and I went ahead and set up a fundraiser to help me get that van, so that I have a place to stay that doesn't cost us hotel fees, that won't charge for pet deposits. I'll have a bed. I'll have a place to cook and live, and I can travel with it. It frees me up and means I won't have to constantly be um, wondering where I'm going to lay my head the next night. And when I finally get approved for a place to live, um, I'll still have a vehicle that I can get around in. And if I want to take a couple of days and go somewhere, I will have a vehicle to do that. If you look at the link in my bio, it's the very first thing on there. I'm sorry, I did say that. I got to be careful about saying that. The algorithm doesn't like it. But yeah, I it will mean I'm not having to uh, sleep in my car without a bed. It has air conditioning built in. It has solar and battery backup. And so it will mean that I don't have to stay in hotels. It will mean that I can stay wherever I want to stay because I will always have my home right with me. If I want to drive to see somebody, I'll be able to. So, a home on wheels. Thank you. I love that little hand heart. That is the cutest one. And I don't know why I'm freezing. I have a really good signal here. I don't know who that is. Um, somebody, somebody, tag him to come into my live, maybe, so that he can. I wish. I am so sorry. You know, that happens to me all the time. I go into somebody's live and it's me freezing. And the thing starts doing the little spinning dots. And it's like, so thank you, thank you. Okay, so he's on YouTube, he's not on here. Very hard to travel with the price of gas, but at least if I'm not spending on hotels, the price of gas does not hit quite as hard. You know what I mean, Karen? It will be easier. Thank you, Kathy. And what I need to do is try and be able to go live, start my live here and get people to join me on my YouTube channel so I can build up my YouTube channel and then do lives from there, because I'll be able to talk about having a fundraiser over there without getting algorithm bashed. And once you build it up enough, YouTube is much better for monetizing than TikTok. So I won't leave TikTok entirely, but I would like to build enough of a following there that I can monetize. So you take your videos over there and you make them into long form videos, longer than 20 minutes. And once you get enough of those with a good following watching them, then you have a chance to make money over there. Yes, yes, yes. So it's in also in my ink tree. In the tree is my link for all the other socials. Oh, Karen, you know YouTube is it's one of the oldest and the most well evolved websites for creators, and it's almost become like a little TV studio for non-professionals and professionals. So I've had the YouTube long before I ever came here. Actually, long before Facebook became a reality, YouTube was around. So I've had a YouTube for a long time. I used to post travel videos and stuff. There is a on my tree. Scroll down, you'll find YouTube. So my sense of humor is underrated. Yeah, it's under the ground rated. It's different. I have a very different sense of humor. And the more pain I'm in, the more I crack jokes, which is kind of a sad commentary, but it's true. Okay, let's see what it says about fuel your day with clean energy with our organic MCT oil powder. This raw, unflavored powder includes prebiotic fiber for easy digestion and is keto and vegan friendly. Delivers fast, sustained energy from healthy fats while remaining free of sugar and additives. Sourced from organic coconuts, it provides C8 and C10 medium chain triglycerides. A convenient scoop is included for easy measurement, making it simple to mix into your favorite drinks for a smooth and creamy MCT oil boost. For a dietary supplement, adults should take 1 scoop daily for best results. I just know that I used to add this to a mushroom coffee that I had, and it was delicious. I'm going to start adding it to my mushroom, or not mushroom, actually I think there is mushroom in it, the cocoa that I take at night. And I remember that this is very good. One of the things I heard is this is good for reducing the symptoms of Alzheimer's. So, what's the Frost Buddy? No, this is actually, there's no flavor to it. It's made from coconut. There's no sugar, there's no flavor. It adds a creaminess, a richness to whatever you put it into. So I knew what you meant. A lot of people have, it's been like auto-corrected to Rise. I don't know why, but what is the Frost Buddy? Do I have any hobbies outside of TikTok? Not really. Not these days. Living in hotels, you don't have time for hobbies. You're just surviving. And I'm doing a lot of this because I'm trying to fundraise, trying to make money so that I can survive. Since I don't have a car to drive Lyft anymore, I'm having to do what I can to make that extra money. Oh, I feel the scoop is way down here. It's not up here where it should be. It's I feel it. It's right here down at the bottom. That's not going to do me any good. I'll use a pair of these to get it. But I'll go digging for it. Oh, keeps your... I almost said keeps your kink drink. Oh, dear. Yeah. It dreeps your kink. Oh, yeah. What was dinner? Well, it was a late lunch. I had Chick-fil-A with my friend. I had the grilled chicken nuggets. So the heat is getting to us. Yes, Nana, it surely is. I've done the surveys and I never get past like the first 4 pages of it, and they say, well, you don't qualify for this survey, and they pay you 50 cents. It takes a lot of them to add up to anything at that point. I used to do mystery shopping, but I don't have the energy for the majority of the mystery shops anymore. And the food ones, you have to pay up front and you get paid like 4 weeks later. So that's not really working for me anymore. Mystery shopping, I did that when I was in Virginia. I did everything from fast food chain shops where you would go, you'd place a specific specific order. See if they try to upsell you. You would look at the cleanliness inside, outside, the building, the parking lot, and you would rate all of it. And sometimes they were reveal shops where if they give you the right responses, you go in and you award them. And if they don't give you the right responses, you go in and you talk to the manager and say, well, this is the person who helped me, and they didn't try to upsell, and they did not make suggestions before giving the total. Oh, I loved U Crops. I miss U Crops so much. They were wonderful. What is the name of the chain that took over U Crops? I cannot remember. Martin's. Oh my God. I just remembered it as I was asking. Martin's took over. And the first thing they did is they opened on Sundays. U Crops was never open Sundays. They added, it paid pretty well. They added alcohol, which U Crops did not have. And they got rid of some of the best parts that made U Crops such a great store. We moved there in 98 and I left in 2016. So, oh yeah, Publix when I was a kid was a lot different from Publix today. A lot of things have changed over the years. What, Publix? U Crops was the name of the family who owned the chain. And Mrs. U Crops, the grande dame, the wife of the man who started the whole thing, she was in Alzheimer's care with my dad. And one of the grandsons would come and visit with her on the weekend. And I remember her singing along with him hymns. She had a lovely voice for being like 90 years old. And she couldn't remember anything else, but she could remember those hymns, and she would sing with him. And when she passed away, that's when the grandsons decided they didn't want to keep the grocery store running anymore. And since she was no longer alive and in control, even if she was in Alzheimer's care, technically her lawyers were in control. And when she was gone, they took over and they said, let's sell it. And that's what happened. That's how U Crops ended up going away. They had, 16 stores in the greater Richmond area, and they were all sold to Martin's. The only thing they kept was the meat market in the, it was on where Broad Street like almost ended. It was down in that area. I can't remember the name of that neighborhood, but that was the only thing that they kept, was their meat market. And oh my God, they had the best bakery. And when Martin's took over, the bakery went to hell in a handbasket. It was terrible. I'm okay. It's been an interesting day. Publix and Wegmans came into the area up there too. Wegmans opened their first store just before I left. Or was it Wegmans? Yeah, it was Wegmans that opened their first store in Richmond just before I left. I got to go in there and it was very cool. It was beautiful, but it was not U Crops. Oh, I'm so sorry. Matt, I hope tomorrow's better for you, and take care. I'm sorry to hear you had a rough day. AI summary just totally misspelled U Crops. They spelled it Y-O-U, capital C-R-O-P-S. It was U-K-R-O-P-S. Crops was amazing. They were a wonderful store. Um, and then the other one was Hannaford's, and Hannaford's closed, and Kroger took over, and everybody was pretty disappointed. I had a friend who was a butcher at Hannaford's, and he left to work somewhere else because they fired a lot of the old workers, and then he came back because he was a good butcher. And I don't remember what happened after his baby died. He kind of fell off the scene, fell off the radar for a while. Yeah, Hannaford's didn't stick around. It's like in Orlando we had Goodies, and I loved Goodies, but it was like a precursor to Whole Foods, but much cheaper. That was where I met the Shack. I was shopping in Goodies, and I bumped carts with somebody, and I looked up and up and up and up, and I went, "Wow, Tom!" I was gonna say, "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bump into you," but all that came out was, "Wow, Tom." He was extremely nice. No, not a clothing store. Goodies was a grocery store. It was Goodies. Goodies. Oh, was it Goodings? I thought it was Goodies. But anyway, I love that store. I've met quite a few over the years. The first celebrity I met, I was a child. My aunt took me out to Chad Everett's horse ranch. And because she knew I liked horses, he had Appaloosas, and so I met Chad Everett when I was 12 years old. Okay, all I remember is I love that store. It was the one at Dr. Phillips Parkway. Oh, he was handsome, wasn't he? Oh, I was so in lust. I was 12 years old, but I was so in lust. I loved Chad Everett. He turned out to be a little bit of a misogynist, but he was very sweet to me as a little girl. His son, I think it was a student at the school my aunt taught at. So she knew him from the school, and from that got the invitation to bring me out to the ranch when I was there. So, yes, I do remember Bill's barbecue. That was the one my brother liked the best. He took me to Bill's the first week we were there. He took Mom first, then he took me. But yeah, he took me to Bill's barbecue. And I made friends with two people. Darcy, I met her in the grocery store and we just hit it off. And she introduced me to Carlisle. And Carlisle works at MCV. He's the one that keeps the computers running for MCV. And he's still there in Richmond. I talk to him occasionally. I haven't talked to him lately, though. I need to catch up. But I had a friend whose name was David Ellis, and he flew ultralights, the planes that you have to have another plane take off with you. They have no engine themselves, and you glide. They were gliders, and he was with the Civil Air Patrol, and he was a researcher for Philip Morris. So he was developing the first vapes. the uh, smokeless cigarettes kind of thing. He took me to Maryland Renaissance Festival the first time in 98, 99. The second year I was there in Virginia. So, because I didn't meet him in time to go in 98, it was 99. But I met him through our meetup group, AOL, Richmond Chat. And we would get together on these meetups and just have a good time. It's where I met Mickey, the guy who won the lottery like 3 times. He was a interesting little character. I met, oh my God, this fellow whose name was Dale, and he worked for UPS, and he was probably about 6'4", and he was just the sweetest thing, but he was very large, and he went in and had gastric bypass surgery and lost a ton of weight. But he had a lot of issues from doing that surgery. It was not as good back then. It was not as safe. He had some issues from it. But I loved him. He was such a big sweetheart. Yep, dial up with AOL. And who picked up the phone? Hang up your damn phone. You had to get a dedicated line for the computer. Otherwise, someone would pick up the phone to make a phone call and hang up on you. Yep. And before AOL, there was BBSs, local bulletin board systems. And it was basically one person would have a server computer and 20 people at a time could dial in. And you could chat and you could play games that were text-based, like Monopoly and Scrabble. And there was a D&D game called Major Mud, and I loved playing Major Mud. And it was all text-based. Oh, that's awesome, Cass. But before we moved to Virginia, I bought somebody's BBS system and just got it set up and ran it for about 3 months, and then we were moving to Virginia. So, but I learned how to run a bulletin board system. That was a lot of fun. But we would do meetups, and that's how I met my buddy Brian that I hung out with and sang karaoke with and whatever. And I don't remember his name now. But the one kid in the group who was underaged, he would come to the meetups until it was, 9 o'clock. The kids couldn't stay any longer at Mugs and Jugs or wherever we went. And so he'd have to go home. But he just turned 19, and he bought Dr. Ruth Westheimer's Sex for Dummies book. And it was the yellow and black cover with, like the Computers for Dummies and COBOL for Dummies and whatever. It looked just like those, only it was Dr. Ruth Westheimer's Sex for Dummies. And I'm telling you, it was absolutely the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. And he brought it with him to Mugs and Jugs. And I don't know how they let him stay later that night because he was drinking soda with me. So they were like, as long as you don't drink alcohol, we're fine. And Sean, who went by the nickname of Rat, R-A-T-T, who was the karaoke jockey, disc jockey for the night. These two drunks got up on stage and they started singing the song Stroke 'em to the west and stroke 'em to the east and stroke 'em to the one that you like the best or whatever. Anyway, they were so drunk. They were so off key and they weren't even getting the words right. It was really hysterically funny. Rat gets the book and he goes, holds up a sign and walks behind the guys that says, I think these guys need this. And then as he walked back across, he held up the Sex for Dummies book behind them and pointed at the book and at them. And then he set it down behind the booth. And the whole place went nuts. And these two guys thought that we were cheering for them, and they were like really hamming it up. And no, we were cheering what Rat was doing behind them. Oh, Sean. He died a year after I moved to Richmond. He had really bad asthma. I don't know how many times I spent the night with him in a hospital emergency room, getting breathing treatments. And he took too much steroids, prednisone, for the asthma, and it damaged his heart. And he had surgery after I moved to Virginia. And they thought he was going to recover. And he was holding out for his favorite brother, his younger brother, to show up. And his brother got there, and they had a wonderful conversation. And the brother walked out of the room to get something, and Sean passed away. Just, that was who he was holding out for. And my friend Lori found out about it, different Lori from the earlier story. And she got on Richmond Chat, got a hold of the two friends she knew that I was really close with, and told them to go to my house and make sure that they were with me when she called me to give me the news, because Sean called me his aunt, and that was how I was able to sit with him every time he ended up in the ER. And he slept on my couch for 4 months when his girlfriend threw him out. And he was my nephew for all intents and purposes, because we were just that close. He was 24 and I was 37 when we met. And I was very much an aunt to him. And yeah, we lost him way too young because they just kept giving him too much prednisone for the asthma. He should not have been working in smoke-filled bars, as asthmatic as he was, but he did because that was his love. He had worked on a radio station in New York, and when he moved to Florida, he couldn't get in with the radio station, but he got in with Mugs and Jugs, and he was one of the favorites of the karaoke jockeys there because he was so much fun. So it's a nice room, Mike. It's much smaller than the last place I was in, but that's okay. It's also a lot cheaper. They have no problem with me cooking with my rice robot. I don't have a burner, so I can't do the extensive cooking that I did while I was in the extended stay. But that's okay. We adapt. They have no problem with Heimdall. There was no pet fee. The only thing I found out, I can't walk him in the front area where I park, where the handicap parking is. I have to take him to the end of the building where they have the dog walk. So I'm like, yeah. I'm probably going to unload my stuff from the car later tonight that I brought home but didn't have time to bring in. And then I'm going to move the car down to the other end so that I can walk him when we're coming and going. So, and if I need to take a break in the car before I walk all the way back to the room, I have a place to sit down. No, I'm not worried about. I have my camp light with me. I have Heimdall, who will bark like ferociously crazy if somebody approaches me. So I'm not worried. I have the room for 5 days. So last night was the first night. And Monday night will be my last night here, unless I make a whole lot over the weekend. You never know. If I can afford to stay a few more days, I will, because I don't know how soon, how fast things are going to happen towards getting the van. But the more likely that I get the van, the better. And I won't sell the current car until I have the van, because what if I get over there and it doesn't work? Or if I get over there and it does work, but I need to have something fixed on it before I can start driving it. There's a bunch of reasons to hold on to the Jeep until I'm settled with the van, and then sell the Jeep. Probably to a junkyard, because the way it's driving right now, I don't think it's going to be long for life. Today it kept going into the, I'm sorry, I don't know what gear I'm supposed to be in. And that's how I went down the road. Literally, that's how the car was driving. Yeah. Yes, my monthly check came in on the 30th of June, and the cost of the room took the last of it. So, yeah, it's a vehicle. It's getting me from point A to point B, not necessarily in a positive manner, but it is getting me there. And I cannot fault it for not being my Kia Soul. It isn't my Kia Soul. And I can't drive lift with it. And exactly, I'm not stranded. Though I was that one day with the flat tire that literally just shredded. But that was only one day. And I am dying for chocolate milk. Okay, we're standing. Oh, we are stiff. Yes, we are. Hi, little boy. What do you think? I've got the milk because I bought milk today. And I know I've got my hot chocolate around here somewhere. I'm just not sure where. And I have graham crackers, which is a lovely treat. Yeah, that's the gravy one. Okay. I know where it is. It's over here. Oof. Dear diary, that thing's heavy. Oh dear. I leaned over. Now I have to feed. No. I'm going to pause. I have to pause because I have to go to the little girl's room. And I don't want y'all hearing that. So I'll be right back. Well, I have everything I need except for my. Oh, wait, I've got this cup. I can do it in that. Ooh, okay. Turn off the little fan. It wanted to blow the cocoa into the air. This is the superfood high flavanol cacao powder, cacao, lion's mane mushroom, ashwagandha root, Ceylon cinnamon, maca root, no sugar, no fillers, no BS. And Heimdall is playing with his favorite toy again. You think you want coconut? Huh? I don't think you do. In fact, I'm pretty sure you don't. Well, I can't find the scoop, but hey, that worked. There we go. How now, brown cow? Hi, Rochelle. That was cute. I knew what you meant. So I'm not going to make it hot cocoa, but I'm going to make it cocoa anyway. This is the mug that has the little bean in the bottom that stirs it up. I think it needs a power boost. There it is. Oh no, this isn't the right one. This requires the little one that has the fun. Yes, he's playing with his the treat ball, the one that delivers food and treats. So he's chasing it around the floor. That was a face, Heimdall. That was a face. He had the treat thing in his mouth, and he saw me leaning over to put something in the garbage can, and he dropped it and walked over real quick, like, what was that? Is it for me? Is it a treat? Is it good? And I think it's empty because he's rolling around the floor and nothing's coming out. So I'll have to put some new stuff in there. We're not blending. Not as well as it should. It still tastes good though. So we'll live with it. I mean, graham crackers and milk. What more can you ask for? Now, mocha, it said preparing a healthy sugar-free mocha drink. Mocha would hint that it has coffee in it. There's no coffee in it. Actually, my mom loved buttermilk and cornbread too. Yep. The The caffeine in this comes from the cacao. And the other energy booster is the lion's mane mushroom. It is, but I've already had dinner. This is a fun dessert. You know how to make your own buttermilk? Take regular milk, add either vinegar or lemon juice to it. Let it sit. And it becomes buttermilk. So if a recipe calls for buttermilk and you don't have any, that's how to make your own. My favorite cookie. It's one of the ones Mom and I made for Christmas every year. We called them lady fingers. They were a little fruit cookie, like a shortbread cookie, and it had candied fruit in it, and it was a little crescent shape, like a lady's finger, and that was my favorite. That and her molasses cookies, which were almost as good as ginger snaps. I've never done that with saltines. I've had the saltines turned into a candy, though. That's really good. This is graham crackers with the superfood cacao milk, or cacao, actual superfoods. That's the name of the company. High flavanol cacao powder, non-alkalized and single origin. Organic cacao, lion's mane mushroom, ashwagandha root, Ceylon cinnamon, maca root, and no sugar, no fillers, no BS. That's what it says right on the label. Uh-oh. It got soft almost too fast. Not really. This one doesn't have any aftertaste at all. It's very cacao forward. So it's like a really good dark chocolate in flavor. Actually, those are the ingredients. There's nothing added to it. Cacao, lion's mane powder, organic Ceylon cinnamon, organic maca root, and organic ashwagandha powder. That's it. That's the ingredients. TikTok shop. And then I put some of that MCT oil powder in, which is so good for you. Uh-oh. He's on the bed. The MCT oil blended better than the cacao powder did. And he wound down into the bed. The cacao is not blending as well because it's not hot milk. I didn't heat it first. Sorry, Heimdall, no graham crackers for you. He has had his treats, so. I gave him 2 more chicken hearts because there weren't any in his treat ball. He's like, oh yeah. Next time I won't rush it and I'll put hot water in first and then add the milk. I just was in a hurry. Yeah, he is happy now. Did you eat both of them? Boy, he did. He says, "Hoo boy, howdy, those are good. Please, sir, can I have some more?" He's always cute. And he knows it. And yes, I just referenced Oliver Twist. Please, sir, could I have some more? Okay, why am I getting double the AI summaries? That was weird. Rochelle and Blossom, I do not know what you're saying. That didn't make entire sense. That was almost equivalent to a cat walking across a keyboard, if you know what I mean. Oh, yes, I do know how to do that. And that's what I did is I washed all the rugs. I didn't have any bedding per se, but I washed all the rugs. Um, Sprayed down the leather couch with the natural flea spray that I had. And yeah, sweeping doesn't work. Sweeping just throws things in the air. You got to use a vacuum cleaner to really get them up. Hey, Sean. The one that worked for me was the one made by, I think, Pawstruck. Um, it's out in the car. It's not in here. Uh, it comes in an orange bottle. It is available here on TikTok Shop, which is cheaper than Walmart, except I got it through Walmart because anything that is related to the dog, um, I can get with my Healthy Rewards card. So instead of it costing me like $18, it cost me nothing because it just took $18 from my Healthy Rewards and not my bank account. So also, if you can get them, there are little plugins that have a uh, attractant for the fleas, and it's like bug zappers, but it's made for fleas, and you plug them in the room, and the fleas will go to it instead of to your dog because it has a hormone on the little insert that attracts them, and then they go to that and it kills them just like a bug zapper does. And you replace that little uh, insert like every couple of weeks and you get rid of the fleas. They work quite well. I've had those in the past when we had multi-animal household. And it's the easiest way to get rid of fleas because even when they're treated for them, they'll still come in on their legs when they've been outside. Usually they'll fall off pretty fast, but if they get into your carpet, they can live in the carpet. So, which is why I don't ever want to have carpet again. No, we do not have a flea problem anymore. Thank you, God. So, hallelujah. 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 Da 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 da. Hallelujah. 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 Sorry. Where was I? Uh You don't get a flea problem when you use a preventative. The only problem was I didn't have a preventative and we got the flea problem and then we were trying to get rid of it and it took a lot longer to get rid of because this year they were highly resistant. Yeah. I have not had an issue with ticks here, but fleas were a problem back in March. But we got rid of them. Thank God. It was right in that time period where I lost my home and just, everything was up in the air and I spent all of my money moving myself into the storage unit. The cost of the moving van and everything, and it just, a preventative is something that you give the dog that prevents them from getting the fleas, um, like something that has whatchamacallit. Wow, that is a weird looking thing outside. It's a truck. Oh, it's a truck with a traffic cone. I had one of the curtains open on the window, and I'm looking out there going, what the hell is a truck with a traffic cone on the back? Yeah, see, so we had a really bad start to the year. Um, and then my friend Sue, who had these kittens come in with fleas, the first set, not the current ones that are causing the issues that she's having now. Um, she found a flea treatment that you can get at PetSmart that's 6 pills, and they last in the system for about 48 hours. So you give them to them, and within 45 minutes of them taking them, the fleas just start falling off, just hundreds. And I flea combed Heimdall, and I swear I probably pulled a couple thousand fleas off of him. That's what it felt like. Just flea after flea after flea after flea. And I combed him until I didn't see another flea. And then 2 days later, I noticed a couple, so I gave him the next pill. And 2 days later, I gave him the next pill. And I just did that for 6 treatments over the course of 12 days. And we haven't seen a flea since. So but it was like $40 for this little box of 6 pills. So not cheap, but it was safer than some of the vet prescribed ones that caused the dogs to get seizures and stuff. So they will come back sooner or later, except I've got him now on a flea preventative. So, and as soon as I can afford it, hopefully next month, I will get him on the ones that you do monthly. There is a new one out that is much safer, and I'm going to look into what it costs and get the vet to give a prescription, and then get it through one of the online services where you get it a lot cheaper. So this year has just been really hard on both of us, and we've survived it so far. And as you all have seen, he's perfectly happy. Yeah, but the last one that they gave me from the vet was not $40. It was $78 for an itty bitty pill because he was only 6 pounds at the time. And what? So yeah, Sue gets hers online, and she has one giant dog, 2 tiny dogs. So one of the Chihuahua mixes, they're brothers, and one is like 25 pounds. He's a little chunk, and the brother is it's like you wouldn't know they were from the same litter, because the one is a little chunky. There's corgi in the mix, and he's got the little chunky corgi body, and the other one it looks like he's a purebred Chihuahua from Chihuahua, Mexico, and long-legged and very gazelle-like, and they're just as different as night and day, and their names are Kahlua and Cream. Kahlua is black, and he's the skinny, deer-like one. And Cream is the one that's definitely got the corgi lineage in his chunky little body. He's longer and he's chunkier, and yeah, he's cute. St. Pete Home, yeah, fleas are really bad in this area. And then you have sand fleas, which are even worse. So, yeah. Okay, please hold. I think I just got a strange message. Let me, Linda, in other words, your dog doesn't go outside, so she doesn't get them. And when he was a puppy, that was the case for us too. And I think that was a big part of the problem, was suddenly he was outside a lot more, and he got exposed. But I look at his ears daily, because that's where I can see them the best. See, his hair is so kinky curly. And if he gets them, they go in the inside of his ears, and it's right along the hairline I can see. So, she was here earlier. She's fine. As far as I know, she's fine. Graceful Vegan. That's a cute name. I am not vegan. Never will be. I like meat too much, for one thing. And I'm allergic to some of the things that you use to replace the proteins. So, she is. Oh, anyhow. Really? I've been here for 2 hours and 55 minutes. This night has gone by so quickly, I had no clue. I think I'm gonna let y'all go. It's 11:15. Wow. I got on at 8 o'clock, or a little after 8. I mean, I got back before 8 from having dinner with my friend, but I had to use the restroom before I could go live. No wonder I had to go a few minutes ago. It had been 2 hours. I will get decent sleep. I'm not tired from not getting sleep last night. I'm tired from the heat today. I had to sit in my car waiting out a rain, and I couldn't keep the windows down, and I didn't want to keep the engine running because of the cost of gas, and it got hot, muggy in the car. So, bleh. And then there were no scooter chairs at Walmart, so I had to walk, and that wore me out. I got my exercise in, but I could have done without it today. What are you doing, you psycho puppy? He likes to shove pillows off the bed. He was giving my pillows a shove. Oh, God, I wish. I haven't felt like a new woman in a very long time. I just feel very old when I wake up. It's sad. I hope everybody has a lovely night. The Tuesday morning. So, yes, that's true. Happy 4th of July. Um, it's going to be the 4th in 43 minutes. Hey, math worked for me for once. Yes, I will definitely go live tomorrow. I'm not going anywhere tomorrow, so I'm staying here. I know walking's good for me, but it's bad for me at the same time because it throws my back into spasms. So it's a six one way, half dozen the other. Probably both. User 113462571526285. Sorry. Dyslexia had to get in there somewhere. Anyhow. Why'd I feel like a computer reading that off? Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely bedtime. Anyway. I'm going to try. I hope y'all have a lovely night. Thank you, everybody who was here and all the people who sent me cute little gifty things, the corgis at the beginning of the night and stuff. Mama Wendy, I don't know. I will do what I can and hope for the best. It's all we can do in life, right? So, all right. Y'all have a lovely night. I am out of here. Yep, it is. I've been on here for 3 hours. And I never did find that gal on live. I was hoping I would. But is David still here? I guess not. He would have popped in real fast to say something. We used to joke he was David 1, and there was another David that would come in, and we called him David 2. Well, David 2 has been hasn't been on social media in quite a while for reasons of his own. And I just found out today that he is going back to South Dakota to live with his grandparents, or grandmother. So I don't know if he's going to get back on social media or not, but he's doing okay. So thank you. I am from the great state of confusion. Florida. I'm in the US. Anyhow, night, everybody. I am out of here. I know. Isn't that wild? It happens. I actually go to sleep at a reasonable time on occasion. Today's going to be that occasion. Well, I came home from all of my running around and I didn't take a nap first before going live. I just went straight into live. So there you go. And Giovanna, you're just getting here and I'm heading to bed. I'm so sorry. Love you, my friends. Night, everybody.